Hi there, I'm Gary. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm building the Miles M.52 supersonic research aircraft in a 1/48 scale kit from Aerocraft. This is my first 1/48 scale resin kit, albeit 3D printed, so I'm half excited and half nervous about building it, but I've heard very good things and it looks rather promising. If you enjoy the build, do please let me know by giving the video the imperial thumbs up, hit the notification bell and subscribe to the channel. It's free and a great way to show your support. Before starting the build, here are the paints and products I used. First thing we're going to do is start cleaning up the parts, taking them off of the production frames, these supports that the 3D printer uses to support the parts while they're being printed. Now I've found these come off very easy. You can nip these off very straightforwardly as well, and because it's a fairly modern print and quite high resolution, there's minimal amounts of sanding required afterwards as well, which is a good thing to do. So really fun, really happy with these. Oops, there we go. You can see very little in the way of residue there, and those just sand off in moments. Right, so for the cockpit section here, all I've done is I've sprayed it black inside, done a bit of sort of dry brushing with white to bring out the details. Remember, this is going to be viewed through plastic anyway, so you need a bit of punchy contrast. I've just put some grey onto the throttles here. Painted this pipe brass, don't know whether it would be brass or not, steel bottle, just a few switches and tiny little dots of colour here and there, and of course the nose is now full of liquid gravity to keep it level. To go into that, I've done the instrument panel here. Take that off there, and let's see it better. There we go, instrument panel. I've used the ones with the raised instrument content just because it's a bit easier to sort of dry brush, and then did some grey around the face here, and again a couple of little spots here and there of interest. I've no idea what they would have had, so I've just gone with what was in there. And I've also painted the seat. I've left it completely black. I've painted the straps in the kind of, sort of post-war blue. A few little tiny little sort of steel details. I used a gallery pen to just catch those details. And a few tiny spots of white on the quick release buckle. So that's essentially all the interior parts, and there's also the rear part of the cockpit that is here as well. So I can put all of those together now. Now I'm using high viscosity super glue for a lot of these parts. This takes about 30 to 40 seconds to go off once the parts are in contact. It means that you can adjust things before it actually sets hard. So if you've got a piece that you want to sort of jiggle into place, you can do with high viscosity. You can't with instant contact ones, because you know, once you've made your mistake, it's there. So that's in. I'm going to put the back in first, clip the front in. Let's see if we can make this go in. There we go. It goes in like so. We double check because it's also the undercarriage bay there. You can see it all fits in nicely. And with that, I can slot the seat into place like so. Try and get it centered. There we go. And then leave that to set. Then very carefully locate the hole for the control column and slot it into place. And for the moment, the last piece of the cockpit is the rear cover, like so. And you can see how little vision the pilot would have had with his head all the way in the back like that. Then we've cut the transparency off of its supporting frame, just tidied up. It takes a little bit of sanding to get it to just where we want it to be, but I'd like this to be quite a tight fit, and I'm using some clear PVA to hold it in place once it goes in. There we go. There we go. It's a tight old fit I've got there with the part, but that's what we need for it to look great. Now we're going to leave that overnight to set, and then when it's done, I'll clean the glass and then put the mask on top, ready for painting. So you've got the liner goes in first, and you can see that has settled into this cup-shaped part, settled into this pair of tabs here. It's at the top, which is where the fin goes. Then we slide the tubes in as well. It's kind of difficult to see from this end, but it sort of sits really nicely, and it's quite sort of atmospheric. It's quite indicative of what it might have looked like at times. Really nice modelling that. So we'll let that set for a while. Then I've got the middle section, and this is the back end of the middle section here. The undercarriage leg goes here at the front of the gear bay. It folds backwards into there. And I've got this cone I've painted up that fits into there and just sort of finishes off the sort of the look of the engine, really. Again, it's difficult to see from here, but when you later put these together, it actually does look pretty cool. But we'll keep that for a moment, let that dry, and then we'll connect together those parts of the fuselage. Okay, and now I'm going to connect up the two parts of the rear and centre fuselage here. They just sort of slot in. Remember that slot goes into this top part here. That sits as it's centred. And the reason why I like this sort of high viscosity glue is it gives you time to just check all those seams are flat whilst you keep hold of it, and it will set up and then it's done. But it gives you time just to sort of move it around a bit, get it absolutely set to how you want before it goes off completely. Now we put the nose section into the air intake for the engine, and it sits in here like so. This notch here in the back ring of the air inlet needs to be at the top, and obviously the cockpit needs to be at the top as well. So just let the super glue do its magic. I'm going to pour some liquid gravity into the front end here, just to make sure the nose sits down, and I'll put some epoxy over that. So, sorry, I won't put epoxy over it. I'll put some clear PVA over that to get it to set down. Then when the weight has set, you can join the nose and main fuselage parts together. Right, so a quick catch up with where we are on the fuselage here. It looks very different to the last time you saw it because it's been painted. So what I've used is the AK Extreme Metal range for doing this. So it's a overall gloss black. Then I've used regular aluminium on these parts here, the inlet ramps and this band here, just for sort of cosmetic value really. I've used stainless steel on the nose, the intake lip and the tailpipe of the exhaust, and I've used white aluminium everywhere else because I think it looks a little bit more towards sort of high-speed silver. I don't believe they'd have painted it high-speed silver. They might have left it as a sort of a treated metal finish. On the insides, I've used stainless steel, but then I've put in some oils. I've done some, it's like a light rust oil and then a black oil, just to give it a sort of like a industrial look. I've added like a hint of blue and red here as well for sort of heat marks, but just a hint really. It's just suggestive. It's not trying to be accurate. And then of course I've taken the paint masks off as well. So that looks rather splendid, I have to say. So the next thing to do is to get everything else painted up. I've done the wings and the tail assemblies, all of those, just simple aluminium and white aluminium for various bits. And I need to do the undercarriage and doors and assemble everything. I'll do the decals and then that should be it. But I'm really happy with this metal finish. Really happy. Now I've got the fuselage in the jig that comes supplied with the kit, and this is very critical for two things. Firstly, later on for setting the undercarriage in the right place, but firstly it's going to be important for making sure we get the wings in the right position, the right amount of camber, or dihedral, sorry, on the wings. It's a tiny amount of dihedral and we really need to get that right. So the wings go on. I'm just using some super glue to bond them in, so make sure they're pressed in and then let them sit how they like. There we go, the other side. If I remember, this side was slightly more awkward getting the wings in when I did a dry fit a while back, but there we go, that's on. So there we are, so they're in, and we'll just make sure they're pressed down and leave that alone for a while to set. Now I've slotted the rudder in already, and the stabilizers, all moving tailplanes, are going to go. They just slot into here. There's this tiny reference mark here for the 0 point, so not up or down. The neutral position is marked by these tiny dots on each side. Okay, so they slot into here. And with all the flying controls set, while I'm waiting for the undercarriage and gear doors and all the rest of that to be painted, I'm going to put the decals onto the aircraft. Here I'm using it just to touch up a brass pipeline going down an otherwise steel undercarriage leg for a model. Now the tyres are really tight fit on the wheels, they won't go on straight away, so what I'm going to do is just drop them into some warm water for a moment, and what this will do, this will soften the resin and it'll also expand the resin, so then we can put them onto the rims and then they'll naturally sort of cool down and grip onto the rims. We won't even need any glue, I don't imagine. Anyway, we'll let those just warm up a bit first. Okay, so we're going to set the wheels in place now. So we put the jig in line with this. So we're going to set the wheels now. Now to do that, we're going to put this jig in line with this panel line at the back here, like so. Then the wheels, when they go in, can sit into this notch, and that gives them the right angle. I find it a lot easier to do it this way around. So I just need a bit of glue in the mounts. The nose gear is a bit easier. Then the gear bay doors can be set in place. The last thing we're going to do is put on the pitot for the nose, and then that is the kit complete. Well, there it is. I must say I'm really happy with the result. It's a plane I've wanted as a model for such a long time, and to build one with so little drama was a delight. The only word of caution would be about the decals. They're on a single piece of carrier film, so if you want to use them, you need to cut round them individually. Don't put all the roundels into water at the same time, because all 6 will be on one piece of film, just like I did. Luckily, however, I've got plenty in my spares box. In any case, that's a small matter, and I can thoroughly recommend the kit to you. I'll put a link in the information box below to the site, where you can buy them in 1/48 scale like mine, or in 1/72 or even 1/32 scale as well. I'm so tempted to do another one, I can't tell you. I hope you liked the video half as much as I like building this thing. Please do remember, if you did, give it the old imperial thumbs up, hit the notification bell and subscribe to the channel. Thanks so very much for watching today, and goodbye.